In today's video, we're taking a look at how to install PEX Type A easy and simple. This is so easy, anyone could do everything that we use on the video. We're going to leave a link on the description. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe. That does help us out a lot. Thank you. So you woke up today and hear the sound of rain. You looked outside and it's sunny and no clouds. Then you just realized, and it hit you like a ton of bricks, that today is a plumbing day. Don't worry, here at the StatUpBox team, we've got your back. 2-3 blocks away, but a back is a back. And today we're using the iCrimp Manual Expanding Toolkit, which is a manual PEX A expansion toolset compatible with the F1960 fitting system. It features an auto rotating head with multiple size adapters as 3/8 of an inch, 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch, and 1 inch. And what this tool does, it temporarily stretches the end of a PEX A tubing as well as the expansion pipe sleeve so a fitting could be inserted. As the tubing shape memory causes it to contract, it forms a tight leak-proof seal around the fitting. And the tool does this by using its expanding jaws and rotating head to evenly widen the tubing and the sleeve before it quickly shrinks back into place, creating a deft grip on your preferred fitting. And remember, no matter if you're using this particular tool, a manual or electric or a different brand, the technique will be the same. And the things that we get on this particular kit, we have the lubricant for nighttime installations, we have the expansion ring removal tool, a radial PEX cutter, which basically means it has a blade, and as you rotate around the blade, it will help you to cut the pipe. Also, in this particular kit, we do have 4 expansion heads. We have the 3/8 of an inch, the 1/2 inch, the 3/4 of an inch, and the 1 inch. And having different head adapter sizes makes the tool more versatile, allowing you to handle multiple plumbing jobs without the need of separate tools. And lastly, we have the most important thing in the kit, other than yourself, is the actual tool. And basically how this works is, once you have the tool open, which means just as pliers, as you separate the handles, the head contracts. If you close the handle, the head expands. And every time you open and close the handle, the tool rotates. And this is important because it expands the PEX A tubing evenly around the entire circumference, preventing grooves, uneven stretching, or weak spots that can cause all sorts of future pain and glory. And mostly pain, no glory, aka leaks. And to install an expansion head, you want to select the correct size. In this particular case, we're using 3/4 of an inch. A pro tip, let's say if you're using 3/4 of an inch tubing, you want to make sure that you have 3/4 of an inch fittings, 3/4 of an inch expansion sleeves, and lastly, you want to make sure that you're using the 3/4 of an inch tool head. Once you have the correct tool head size, then you want to open the tool handle so it could contract, giving you space to go night mode and insert the new head. Once inserted, you're going to notice threads both on the tool and on the head itself, and as this gets rated R, you would screw the head into place. Always remember the ancient rule passed down generation to generation of lefty loosey, righty tighty. Once you feel it hand tight, that's good enough. And now that everybody's lining up in the yard for the milk, wrong video. And now that we filled your brain with tool technology, we're ready for the first thing that we're gonna need, and that is our tubing. And in this particular case, we're using PEX Type A, which is the most flexible type of cross-linked polyethylene tubing. If you notice on our other videos where we use PEX Type B, the tubing is stiffer. PEX Type A is more bendable and pliable, letting you use less fittings when doing turns or curves, saving you more time on the installation and using less fittings. Next, we're going to need expansion style fittings, which can come in brass or poly, and they can come in elbow, T, couplers, adapters, or valves. And remember, everything that we use on the video, we're going to leave a link on the description. And lastly, we have the expansion sleeve rings, which are small sleeves that slide over the PEX A tubing before inserting the fitting. They help you guide the tubing tubing onto the fitting, maintain proper alignment, and provide extra support to ensure a secure, leak-proof connection after the tubing contracts around the fitting. And as you can see, it has a little flap all around the inside of the sleeve, so when you insert it on the tube, it stops, avoiding any guessing when installing compared to crimp rings or clamps where you have to position 1/4 of an inch or 1/8 of the inch from the end of the tubing. And now that we filled your brain with data, we're ready to start. And because the last thing you want on a clear sunny day, it's an indoor pool, we want to shut off the water valve for that particular line, or you can choose to shut off the water valve for the main line. And the first thing that we want to do is cut our tubing to size, and for that we're going to use a PEX pipe cutting tool. It works just like scissors. You press and cut. You can also use a PVC ratcheting cutting tool. No matter which you use, we know you got this. You always want to make sure that you inspect the tubing after cutting to make sure the cut is clean and square without burrs or uneven edges, creating all sorts of problems, aka future leaks. If you notice any debris, you can always wipe the cut end clean with a cloth or paper towel to remove any debris or dust. If you notice any burrs or rough edges, you can use a deburring tool if needed. And if you notice any deformed ends, you might want to cut the pipe again or use another tool. And once done with the inspection, as an optional step, you can lightly moisten the end of the tubing with the PEX lubricant usually included in the kit to help the fitting slide in smoothly. Once we've done this, we can go ahead and slide on the expansion sleeve ring to the tubing. We want to make sure that it is securely all the way in, just like last night. Wrong video again. And now we're ready to insert the head of our expansion tool into the tubing and fitting and give it the best night of its life. We're going to professionally expand the tubing using our beautiful Hulk hands as we open the plier and close it, helping the head contract and expand as it rotates the fitting and tubing into submission. Until we get the information. You know what I mean. And basically how this works is every time the tubing and fitting expands, the tool goes in deeper and deeper. This video is not looking good. Once we've done the night action, we're ready to remove the tool and quickly insert the fitting into the expanded ring. Once we made sure that the fitting sits correctly and all the way in, we like to hold the fitting in place to avoid any contraction movement on the fitting. We like to do this for 5 to 10 seconds. When inserting the fitting, you're going to notice a ring around the fitting that lets you know when to stop. On poly fittings, you're going to notice a tab that lets you know when to stop inserting the tubing and the expansion sleeve. And once you waited a few seconds and you notice that the tubing and sleeve have contracted on the fitting, you can check for alignment and secureness. And because today is a good night, we're going for the second one. Now you're ready to professionally do the other side. And just like before, we're going to take our tubing, insert the sleeve, and remember, it's optional if you want to add the lubricant so the sleeve can slide in easier. We get our beautiful strong arms and start pumping away. Always remember a pro tip to use both arms for an even pump. Once we get the tool head all the way in the tubing and sleeve, and what this does is helps the tool rotate all around the tubing and sleeve, creating an even expansion. Once again, we remove the tool quickly, insert our fitting, hold it in place, make sure it's all the way in, wait a few seconds, and then once we notice it started contracting and it's not going anywhere, we let go. And once done, according to the manufacturer, we should let the connections rest a minimum of 30 to 60 seconds before we open our water line. Then we can slowly pressurize the system with water to check for leaks. But let's say in your case, you want to go ahead and remove the fitting, either because you have a leak or any other reason. For this, we want to use our sleeve ring removal tool, which we are going to get ready for the fight. But before we do that, we want to go ahead and cut the tubing the closest to the fitting using our PEX cutting tool. Once we cut the tubing on one of the sides, we can measure our tool to see if it reaches the ring. And basically how this tool works, Just like scissors, it has a cutting blade at the end that when one side is inserted in the fitting and the other side stays on the outer side where the sleeve and tubing are located, you press down and cut the sleeve away. We like to start cutting from the inside, working our way out. And remember, a pro tip, if you have to do multiple cuts, that's okay. At the end of the day, you are the king, queen, both or none of your castle. And we know you got this. Once you remove the sleeve, you should be able to pull the tubing away. If not, you can use the same tool to cut the tubing apart. And remember, a pro tip, if you need any help to remove the sleeve or the tubing, you can use needle nose pliers, a flathead screwdriver, or even a heat gun. And now you've done it. You can pat yourself on the back for a job well done. You have become the most powerful expanding tool in your block. Don't forget, if you liked the video, please give us a thumbs up. That really helps. If you have any questions, place them in the comment section below. Either someone on the StatUpBox team or someone on the YouTube community can help you out with an answer. Don't forget to subscribe, follow us on social media. Thank you for watching, and here's a link to our latest video.